Patrick, could you talk about Decam?
Yeah.
Just continues to make progress. You see him making plays. Just your thoughts on his maturation, please.
He's been doing a good job in the meeting rooms and on the practice field and doing a lot of the extra stuff to try to get better. You can see him gaining confidence. You know, he has a skill set. You know, he has good length. He plays physical. That's the thing that stood out to me the most is his desire or his willingness to be unblocked or the desire to make sure that those guys aren't blocking him at the end of the play. That stands out to me. And of course, you know, he's a rookie and he's got a lot of things to learn. But the one thing that's positive about him, he usually corrects a mistake. So he might make it once or twice, but then usually it's off the plate and he's corrected it, and then it just comes down to execution.
He doesn't seem bothered by like the moment or the league or things like that. I mean, is that something you notice from him? What kind of a quality is that for a player?
You know, most corners, you know, that get to this level, you have to have a short memory because at some point in your career, whether it's Pop Warner, high school, or college, you're going to get bombed on at some point, you know? So, I mean, the thing is, but he has a lot of confidence. I believe it comes from his prep. You know, just like any of us in our walks of life, you know, as a coach, you gain confidence from your prep, the preparation you put in. So I think that's where he's gaining the confidence. And then when you see it come to life out there on the field, that's really where you want, when those plays start to happen out there on the field, that's when you get another level of confidence, you know. So I'm looking forward to that happening for him.
What improvements have you seen from Bo Nix from the first meeting that you guys had until now?
I think I mentioned it the first press conference talking about Denver. You know, one, he has an excellent coach with Coach Payton. So, like, you know, just the years I've been in the league, you know, I remember my first year in the league, they destroyed us. It was down there at the Superdome. It was bad. And he does such a good job, the head coach, who's the play caller, using their personnel. And you can see that Bo is comfortable with that. He knows, okay, this guy is doing this guy's doing that, and he's getting them the ball in those situations. The thing that stood out about me, and again, he played a lot of games in college. He has complete control of the line of scrimmage in terms of whatever parameters that Coach Payton's giving him, but he has control of it. He's able to get in and out of checks. He's able to get him into protection, and he's not taking a lot of sacks. That's a credit to his offensive line and their scheme. But you've seen a rookie player who has a lot of experience in college. I forget how many number of games he started. I think it was up there in the 70s or 60s, something crazy, whatever. But he's a mature player out there, and he's just getting better.
Tyree, one technique thing, leaving his feet away from 2 sacks on. But when you look at his, I mean, the first year when you guys selected him, you looked at it like a red shirt. He got forced to play because of Chandler. But when you look at how he's coming in each week, the relentless pursuit, still technique issues, but where he is in his career, would you assess that, please?
I joke with the defensive staff all the time. I wish defensive linemen, unless you I just wish defensive linemen could go to like the minor leagues and get blocked for a few games because again, I always talk about in college, most of the guys at this level, they didn't really get blocked. They never had to deal with blockers of this caliber. So that's the first thing, adjusting with that. And that's usually the progression of their eyes, hands, and feet, and then looking for the ball carrier, because when they were younger, not being blocked, and they were usually the best player, as soon as they touch somebody, their eyes go up. So once you start to see improvement with that, then you're starting to see what you drafted or what you signed in terms of a player. So you're seeing that progression get right. You know, I remember it with a lot of the younger players I've had in my career, Romeo Akawara, like listen, you got to get your progression right before you start looking for the ball. So that's when it starts to take off. The game slows down a little bit, and then we're able to see the true player.
Patrick, how has the injuries to the defense impacted you as a play caller?
None, man. I mean, no. Again, if it did, nobody cares. So for me, that's my job to adjust. It's my job to adjust. And the thing is, Coach talks about it all the time, next man up mentality. The play calling, for me as a play caller, adjusts based on the game. So that's the thing. And then I got to be able to adjust within the game, and I got to do a better job of that. But really, in terms of any discussions on that, I mean, every coordinator's dealing with it, and that's part of the job. It's a collision sport. We got to deal with it. But, I couldn't be – the guys are trying to execute everything I'm asking them to do out there on the field, and they put in the work. We have great energy in the meeting rooms, great energy out there in practice. We've challenged each other to get better each day and to improve, because we got to get to the point where we reap the rewards of this hard work, because, we're hungry. Everybody's hungry for, Sunday reward.
When it comes to your play calling and the game plan, how much of it is predicated on who you're playing, but also what you have to work with, the players that you have to work with that particular.
There's no excuse. I know, no, I got you. Like, no, nobody, again, that never crosses my mind. We got all NFL players, and these guys, I love the group we have, period, point blank. I'll say it like that. So for the play calling, for me is based on the opponent, based on what we're trying to give them, and then what we do well. And so, anything that's off of that, that's on me. That's on me. The players, we put the best 11 out there each play that we think is for that situation, and they're doing their best to execute. And again, most of the time is, all the time, coaches mess it up way before the players do. So that's on me.
At the same time, when you have, a bunch of injuries at one position like you did this week in the defensive backfield with the corners, the communication is so difficult, obviously, for guys that haven't necessarily been out there together. How do you work on this? Is there a way to drill communication or?
Absolutely. I mean, effort, communication, discipline, that's the main criteria that I, as the defensive coordinator, I'm responsible for that. It trickles down from me. So whether we come up with creative drills or the walkthroughs that we implement, or even if we're doing a good job of teaching in the classroom, we want it to be interactive. No different than our kids that go to class, you want it to be interactive. So the only way I know if they know if I hear it from them, not me answering for them. So that's all part of the lesson plan for us as teachers to get that done. And then we always try to implement some element of that on the field. So always working on that,
Are there little victories for yourself, like when a younger player starts verbalizing it back to you in the way you want to hear it?
Again, I don't have any hobbies, really. I mean, I don't have any hobbies, and I tell the players all the time, I'm so appreciative, again, the moments that, the joy I get in my life, whether it's from my family, blah, blah, blah. As a teacher, the moments of joy I get is when they get something, when you're trying to teach them something. I say it's probably like any math teacher or any science teacher. So for me, aside from my kids and my wife, I don't know if there's anything else that gets me more fulfillment than that. Wins do, obviously, but in terms of when a player gets something that you're trying to teach them, because the one thing, I don't care if it's a vet, if it's a young player, Dante Scarnecchia told me this a long time ago, they all want to know and they all want to get better. So, you don't have to be best friends with them, but they all want the good information. And you give them good information, you help them with their training, you help them have success out there on the field. I don't know, for me in my profession, if there's a better feeling, except for when you hold that trophy. That's different.
How much do you rely on your captains and players like Max Crosby or Robert Spillane to really help extend the communication in times like this where you do have a lot of injuries and players being...
Spill is my mouthpiece out there on the field. Spill and I spent a lot of time together because he's the green dot. Two, I really like hanging out with him. He's a good dude, and he's a great communicator, and he wants the information. So even if he's like, I said, I got a nugget. Do you want this? Give me more. Whatever he can handle. So I rely on him heavily. I rely on Max heavily in terms of he's the leader of the team. And I talk a lot to Max. Again, I think I said this before. Max, again, having a great player is a challenge for a coach, any coach, position coach, coordinator, because you hope that he challenges you to get better in terms of whether it's the schematics or your communication. So that's a big part of the role that Max has played in my life as the coordinator of the Raiders. He's helped me grow in my role. And I've said that before. He's helped me grow in the role, and he's able to communicate with everybody on the team. So that helps me if I need to get a point across.
Obviously, there's so many people that just look at sack numbers, to try to evaluate how a defensive lineman is playing. But can you just evaluate what you've seen from Max Crosby this last month, and also what are some things that the guys around him can do to also help him as well?
I think the thing that I know about Max, one, if you got the chance to watch him in practice, it's relentless all the time. And then the example he sets in terms of preparing for the game and his body. Then in terms of the production on the field, he draws a lot of attention. So we're aware of that. We know we're adjusting to that, as we go throughout the game and throughout the season. But the way he's able to still make plays and do what we ask him to do and affect the game, I mean, I think it's pretty solid what he does in terms of that. But, as we look into it, like, I mean, Max, he just does so much for us, whether it's set the edge in the run game, whether it's make a TFL on a stunt, you know, setting the edge in the passing game so that we could win on the opposite side away from the slide. He does a lot, and it's a challenge for him. But again, you've met him before, you know how he is. He's up for that challenge, and he's looking for new challenges each week, which is another thing that we would love to have as a coach from everybody.
What's the chess match like when you play a team for the second time? Do you save stuff the first time, or how much does that goes into it?
When early on in the spring, we sit down as a staff, we kind of lay out schematically what we're trying to push towards, because you want to be playing your best football in November, especially after Thanksgiving. That's the idea. So there's some schematic things that you kind of, okay, hey, that's a good idea right there, Mike. I'm going to hold that maybe for Denver too, because you saw something in Denver 1. That goes in, that you do that at times, yes.
Yeah, we talk about development of young players and rookies, but like a guy like Charles Snowden, who's been around a while, but has
Y'all know I got practice, right? It's like, go ahead.
A guy like Snowden, who's been around a while but hasn't really played that much, is showing a lot of development through this year. Do you almost look at it as a rookie season when a guy hasn't played a lot of games at this point?
I don't know if it's that. What I see with Snow, and again, it's a credit to him and it's a credit to Robbie and Andre Carter. You know, he came in from wherever he came. He was on practice squad, and we told him, this is what you have to do to get on the field. And again, a lot of it had nothing to do with what was going on in the spring, just to be honest with you. And we told him, and he wanted the truth. Like, because he had bounced around from team to team, so we gave him the truth. And then he went out there, put in the work, executed, got cut, came back. Then when he went out there, he produced on the field, so he earned it. So is it a rookie thing? I don't know. Everybody that's playing this league, they've earned that spot. So whether it's a rookie, a 10-year vet that got cut 4 times, but I just know it's his hard work. I don't know if we want to look at a rookie season. He's so smart. He's seen enough in practice and things of that nature, preseason games, but I wouldn't look at it as a rookie year. But, I mean, you have to ask him exactly how he thinks about it, you know. But you are, but go ahead.
A couple of days ago, Rob learned he made the joke that you guys had stole Jonah Laulu. Can you just talk about the development you've seen from him as a player and what has he done to earn those reps throughout the year?
I can't speak for Robbie, but Jonah, I mean, I'm telling you, last, 4 weeks, the practice tape has been outstanding. And, like, I'm not saying that just to be dramatic or anything like that. It's just rep after rep after rep. It's similar to the discussion we had about Malcolm last year, where, again, first year and a half, maybe first year, wondering what Malcolm's going to be. Malcolm bring Robbie in. Robbie helps him out. Malcolm makes the decision that he's going to be a great player. He puts the work in. Halfway through the season, boom, it takes off. And we went back and we said, look at the practice reps. It's 5 in a row, right? No MEs, no technique issues, right? He's training. Jonah, the last 4 weeks, his practice, as many D linemen I've been around, been outstanding. I'll tell you that. From his footwork, strike, his eye progression, his effort to the ball. I mean, the second play of the game, you saw what he did against Miami. But, I mean, the kids put in the work. So did we steal him? I don't know. I mean, I can't speak for Indianapolis, but I'm glad he's here. And I'm glad he's improving. All right, thank you. Yep.